Welcome to the Unfuck Your Fitness podcast. I am your host, Christy Castillo, and I'm here to give you real talk and cut the BS so you can actually enjoy building a body you love. I'm a personal trainer obsessed with giving you simple action steps to take you from feeling stuck to feeling sexy. Let's go. Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to today's episode. I'm really excited for this episode because we're doing things a little bit different. We're actually doing a fitness audit in this episode, and I'm going to walk you through it in real time. Another very cool thing about this episode is I created a printout. So if you go to the show notes of this episode and you scroll past, read all of the information about this episode, and you might as well leave me a rating and a review while you're there. But after that, go into the show notes. The very first link that you see is going to be one you can click. It will take you to a page to leave your name and your email address. And then I will email you the link to download this fitness audit printout. So I want you to listen to this episode. I'm going to walk you through it and explain everything and just really talk about why I think this is such a fucking useful tool. And then you can either listen to this episode again while you are completing the printout, or you can just do it in your own time. Actually, I want you to print out one for September, October, November, and December. So print out 4 of these. I think this is such a good tool. I want your feedback on it as well, of course. But I think this is such a good tool, and I'm going to use it monthly. And I want you to use it monthly because, as I'm going to get into in this episode, it is so good to just audit and then edit and take action. I love pen to paper. I love writing things down. I love taking the time to actually dissect things because a lot of things just get jumbled, right? Or we try to do too many things at once. And this is really going to clear up which part of your fitness journey needs the most work so you can really dial in on that one area that you need to focus on and get control of it before moving to the next. So go into the show notes, click on that link. I'll send you the download, get it printed out, print out a couple of them, and then come back and listen to this again. I want you to continue to listen to this because, again, shit ton of value here, whether you're doing the printout or not, or the workbook or not. And then print that out and go back and do it later. I'm just really, really excited about it. So I came across the idea for this episode. I was listening to an episode of a podcast called The Life You Love. And I love this podcast. It's 2 ladies, entrepreneurs, and a lot of what they talk about is just entrepreneur life, organization. They were doing a life audit in one of their more recent episodes. And as I was listening to it, and they were talking about the different areas of your life that you can audit and walking you through it, I thought this would be so fucking cool to do with your fitness, the different areas of your fitness, your recovery, your nutrition, your workouts, what areas are there? And then you can rate yourself in those areas. And one thing I thought was so cool, and what I did in this printout, and I'm going to walk you through, is something that you do in the beginning is, and I have it pulled up on my phone here, so I'll be referencing the printout as we are going through this episode so I can see, exactly what's there for you. But one of the first things you're going to do in the printout is rate yourself in each category. So I have the categories here as goal clarity, nutrition, training, movement and cardio, recovery, and then mindset and consistency. So those are the different categories of fitness that I'm going to have you audit. So in the beginning, you're going to rate yourself out of 10 stars. Where do you think you're at? So for goal clarity, I have a pretty good idea of what I want what my goal is. So I'd give myself a pretty fair number of stars, and I'm going to do that all the way through. So you're looking at each of these areas, and you're, before doing anything with this, reading anything, any of the questions or anything, you are just thinking, okay, how am I doing with my nutrition? Pretty good, pretty bad, right? You're going to rate yourself based on just what you think. And then after you do the audit, you're going to go back and rate yourself again based on the questions that I ask you in this episode and in this audit. And I found it so interesting because as they were walking me through it in this other podcast, which go listen to, it's called The Life You Love podcast. And it was a very recent episode called something about life audit is in the title. So do that as well. I don't remember if they had a printout. I don't know. I kind of stopped about 3/4 of the way through probably and got started on this episode because that's just how I am when I have an idea in my head. But, I rated myself in the categories they mentioned. And then as they asked questions, I thought, yeah, I'm not doing so good in a couple of those categories. But then the coolest part is I'm going to have you pick one category to really focus on for the next 30 days and make a plan for that category for the next 30 days so you can dial in on that one thing. Because, and this is something that I do in my one-on-one coaching. Like I mentioned a while back in an episode, a few questions that I ask every one-on-one client when they start to work with me. I don't just take a client and try to change every single thing they're doing day one. I ask them questions. I want to know, what's your goal? What's your nutrition like? What's your training like? Are you focused on rest? How's your mindset? I'm asking all these questions, maybe not in that exact format, but I'm trying to get that, I'm pulling the information out of them. That's essentially what I'm doing with this audit. So you can really walk through this yourself and then you can see, okay, this one area I'm really struggling in, like maybe it's mindset where you're like, I am actually, after answering these questions in this audit, I'm really struggling with mindset. And that is holding me back from being great with my workouts and my nutrition and figuring out my goal. Like maybe you're just feeling like everything's pretty good, but I'm still really stuck. This is really going to open that up for you. So we're going to do this together. I'm going to walk you through it. Of course, like I said, I have it right in front of me. You are being real. No one's seeing this, okay? You're not giving me the right answer. Don't even give yourself the right answer. I want you to answer so authentically because who gives a shit if you're doing terrible at nutrition or you're doing terrible at mindset or you're doing terrible at recovery? You have to be honest with yourself to be able to fix it, okay? So I don't start immediately changing things with one-on-one clients or myself. I really take it slow. And I've talked about that on the podcast before. I go very incrementally, slowly increasing calories or taking away calories or adding cardio or taking cardio away. Like I'm very slow with things and methodical. And I want you to do that too, but I want you to ask the questions first so that you're not guessing, oh, I think my nutrition needs work, when maybe it's just your mindset in general, or maybe your mindset around nutrition needs work and you're focusing on the wrong thing. So this is really going to narrow it down and you're really going to do this for yourself, which I think, and I hope by creating this, my goal was for you to be very real with yourself and it will empower you. So step number one is your starting point. So before I kind of explain anything, I want to just walk through what I'm looking at here on the audit, but it tells you how to use the audit. So you're going to give yourself a gut check score from 1 to 10. You're going to work through each section and what you're actually doing, not what you wanted to do, but what you're actually doing. You're going to rescore each category after answering these questions. And then you're going to choose one high impact area to focus on for the next 30 days. And then you're going to come back and repeat this audit and see where you're at. So then there's a couple of questions. Your fitness snapshot. I have your primary fitness goal right now, what you believe is keeping you from reaching that goal right now, and then what success would look and feel like 6 to 12 months from now. So kind of a big picture snapshot. The next one is the scoreboard. Like I said, goal clarity, nutrition, training, movement, and cardio, recovery, mindset, and consistency. There's 6 categories there. We're going to break them down. So you're going to give yourself that gut score of just, how do I think I'm doing with my nutrition? How do I think I'm doing with my training? Be fucking honest. Okay. If you be fucking honest with yourself, if you can't be honest with me and you can't be honest with anybody else, be fucking honest with yourself, because I'm being honest with you right now and saying this will help you if you're honest with yourself. And then we're going to move into goal clarity. And there's a couple different questions and I have you rating them yes, sometimes, and no. So it's just very, very simple. Okay. But I want you to print this out. Like I said, it's super cute. It's super fun. I took a lot of time figuring out how many questions to put in there, make it not overwhelming. So I'm just really excited about it. But in the audit number 1 is going to be the goal clarity. So does your current plan actually match what you say you want? So let me ask you really quickly, and we can just do this together. give yourself, like, rate yourself really quickly before I ask you these questions. Rate yourself from 1 to 10 for goal clarity. Do you feel like you know what your goal is? Are you very, very clear on your goal and what you're going after right now? You want fat loss? Do you want body recomp? Do you want to fix your mindset? Do you want to build muscle? Are you clear on that? Okay, now we're not going to do this for every single one, but that's kind of what it's going to feel like to just really kind of sink in that for a minute. Am I actually clear on my goal? You're going to rate yourself, and then you'll move into the questions. And these are the questions right now that I have in here and on the printout for goal clarity. Can I clearly state my one primary fitness goal right now? Can you clearly state it? If I were standing in front of you, could you say one thing that is your primary goal right now? Number 2, do my nutrition and training choices directly support that goal? Number 3, am I measuring progress in ways that actually match my goal? So if you are trying to body recomp, so you want to gain muscle and lose fat, are you then pissed when you measure progress and the overall number on the scale is staying the same? And you're like, this number isn't even moving. I'm not losing any weight. I weigh exactly the same. But your goal wasn't weight loss. Your goal was body recomp. Your goal was muscle gain, fat loss. Your goal wasn't weight loss. So why the fuck are you looking to lose weight? Right? So make sure you're very clear. This is why we're walking through this. Okay. So are you measuring progress in ways that actually match your goal? And then number 4, is this goal realistic for my current season of life? So would I be able to tell what you're doing? Another question I have is just on here, like, if I watched you for 30 days without knowing your goal, would I be able to tell what you're training for? I love that question. I ask myself that all the time. I'm my own coach, essentially. And I get really confused, especially in the summer. I'm in maintenance phase, so I'm trying to maintain my muscle, but I'm also trying to run a little bit more and be a little more athletic, not work on so much muscle gain. It gets messy in my head. So clearly, right now, I'm not very clear on my goal. My goal clarity is kind of not good. It's kind of shitty. So if someone watched me for 30 days without me saying what my goal is, would they know what my goal is right now? No. Right now, no, they wouldn't. So I'm going to rescore myself blank out of 10. Now you're going to rescore yourself. Where do you fall between 1 and 10? Write down anything you noticed. So that's what it's going to look like. And we're going to walk through the questions for nutrition and so on. But I want you to see how that felt in your gut, because for me, when I was doing the life audit with this other podcast and when I was doing this audit, when I asked myself these questions, it was a wake up call for me too. So that's the first thing, is goal clarity. Audit number 2 is your nutrition. Don't ask, do I eat healthy? That's not the question. That's not going to tell us enough. That's not going to get us to be honest and to really see changes. So the questions for nutrition are, am I consistently eating an appropriate amount of calories for my current goal? Am I consistently getting enough protein? Is my nutrition reasonably consistent across weekdays, weekends, meals out, and real life? Is the way I'm eating sustainable, or am I frequently hungry, thinking about food, restricting, or starting over? Is your food noise out of control? So you can go back and listen to episode 220 or 255, where we talked about food noise, because are you still trying to eat as little as possible and get your nutrition in check? Because it's really hard to eat an appropriate amount of calories, eat an appropriate amount of protein, be consistent, as consistent as possible Monday through Sunday, and then still trying to eat as little as possible and be as skinny as possible, right? So asking that question that we asked in 255, what does my body need to support the goal that I'm asking it to achieve? So for your nutrition, you're going to rate yourself before, and then you're going to ask yourself those questions, and then you're going to rate yourself after. So right now, listening to this episode, how did you answer those? Honestly, I hope, but how did you answer those? Are you getting enough calories? Are you getting enough protein? How is your nutrition? So walk through that one and use the guide, because I think it's very good. Number 3 is training. So you're going to rate yourself from 1 to 10, give yourself a rating. How's your training going? And then we are going to dive into these questions. First of all, training is different than simply doing workouts. For me, that's kind of where my goal is not really clear right now. I'm just doing workouts. And part of that is because I'm really freaking tired for some reason. It's really freaking hot outside. My schedule's kind of a mess. And yeah, so I'm kind of just doing workouts, which is part of the problem and my goal clarity. So make sure for you, we are talking about training, not just your workouts, training. So they're different. Make sure you're making that distinction. Now ask yourself, am I following a structured strength training program consistently? Am I tracking my training and seeing measurable progression over time? Am I training with enough effort to give my body a reason to adapt? These are all things we've talked about in the last few weeks coming together for you. And then number 4, have I followed this approach long enough to actually know whether it's working? Are you training or are you just exercising? Are you half-assed showing up? Sweating does not equal progress. Soreness does not equal progress. Exhaustion does not equal progress. Are you training? So think about that for a moment and then rescore yourself again right now. If you thought your training was great and you're like, yes, I am kicking ass. I'm hitting all my workouts. I've been working out 4 days a week, just like I said I would all summer. So my training is going great. Gave myself 8 stars. After I asked you these questions, are you like, yeah, actually, I'm more like 4, more like 4 out of 10. It doesn't matter. No judgment. It's just a really good wake up call because how are you going to fix it if we don't call ourselves out? Number 4 is movement and cardio. So look at what happens inside and outside the gym, movement and cardio, training and walking and running and biking, right? All of that. So rate yourself. How is your movement and your cardio right now? If you had to just give yourself from 1 to 10, where are you at without me asking questions? Now ask yourself, do I have a reasonably consistent daily activity or step baseline? Is the amount of cardio I'm doing appropriate for my current goal? Is my movement supporting my health and training rather than interfering with my recovery? And number 4, am I using movement intentionally rather than as a punishment or compensation for food? More movement isn't automatically better. Remember, if your goal is muscle gain and you are overdoing cardio, is that supporting your health and training? Is that appropriate for your current goal? Answer those honestly. And then rescore yourself again from 1 to 10 and see where you're at there. Number 5 is recovery. So, how are you doing with recovery? Rate yourself quickly between 1 and 10. Remember that training creates the stimulus needed for your muscles to grow, but recovery gives your body the opportunity to adapt, the opportunity to grow. So it's very important that you rest and recover. Very important. I hope that I'm making that abundantly clear in the last few episodes. Ask yourself now, am I getting enough quality sleep most nights? Am I taking enough rest and recovery days for the amount that I'm training? Do I generally feel recovered and ready to perform when I train? And does my fitness routine leave room for stress and demands of my actual life? Go back to 254 and remember that you don't build the body you want by simply doing more work. This is in relation to that episode where we talked about not always doing more and slowing down and making sure that you are resting and recovering. Your body needs that probably more than you realize at this point. You can't out train your ability to recover. You can overtrain, and that's a bad thing. And we need to stop doing that. So now rate yourself between 1 to 10. How is your recovery after listening to those questions? And then the last audit is number 6, the mindset and consistency. So rate yourself. How's your mindset and how's your consistency? And how's your mindset around consistency? Do you even know what consistency really, really is? After you've done that, does your approach work in real life? Like, are you able to have a good mindset and be consistent on weeks that are kind of shitty and weeks that aren't going as planned? Or are you only able to function and be proud of yourself and hit all of your goals on your very, very best week when you're able to show up 100% and be perfect? So now ask yourself, can I have an imperfect meal, day, or week without turning it into an all or nothing spiral? Have I stayed with my plan long enough to know whether it works instead of constantly starting over or changing it? Are my expectations and timelines realistic for the result I'm trying to create? You can't body recomp in 3 months or 6 months. Be realistic here. And then could I realistically keep doing what I'm doing for the next year? That is so important to me. I always say what you do to get something is what you will have to do to maintain that thing, whether it be in the moment or whether it be just over time. So that's a really good question. Can I realistically keep doing what I'm doing for the next year? That last question, again, big. Okay. If the answer is absolutely fucking not, I cannot be this hungry, I cannot do this for the next year, then that's information that you need to take into account. So, all of that being said, now rate yourself again from 1 to 10. Now, you're going to go back and look at your original scores of what you gave. You're going to score every right category before you answer the questions, and then you're going to rescore after really thinking through and answering those questions. Compare those two. What changed? What surprised you? Where did you overestimate yourself? Where did you underestimate yourself? And what are you actually doing really, really well? I want you to think this isn't just about what do I need to improve? This is also about what am I doing really well? Like, actually, yeah, I do have a really good goal. And actually, yeah, I am eating enough protein. Even if you ranked yourself a little lower in an entire category, maybe there are a couple answers to questions within those that you did really well on. You're like, yeah, I am actually training with purpose. I need to do better with my overall calories, but my protein's great, right? So go through first and see what you're doing really, really well. I'm not just pointing out the bad things. Yes, that's important, but we really want to think about also what am I doing good? And I want you to do that too. First, actually, I want you to say, I'm actually doing a fucking good job here in this category. And then don't fix what's already working. So now I want you to think about what you're doing great. Give yourself a pat on the back. You're killing it in that category, right? There's always going to be a category, let me just tell you. I've been on my fitness journey, working out and doing all of this since my son was 6 months old and he's 18. So 17 and a half years I've been doing this. And I will always have one of those categories at least that's out of whack. Okay. So don't shame yourself. Like you're never going to be like, oh, I am killing it in every single one of these categories. All six, Christy. I'm good, right? Not going to happen. So when you go through here, you're going to look at your highest impact opportunity. So I don't want you to look at your lowest score. That doesn't automatically become your focus. I want you to look at all scores. I want you to see the lowest one. But really, what I want you to ask yourself is which area, one area, if improved, would have the biggest impact, positive impact on your current goal. So maybe that's your lowest score and maybe it isn't. We're looking for the highest impact opportunity. What would have the biggest return on investment right now? What would have the biggest bang for your buck? If you could really dial in on your training right now, but your mindset also needs help, but if you're like, I just really want to do some training, right? The weather's cooling off a little bit. I want to like get outside and run. I want to, whatever it is. If I could really dial in on that and show myself that I could actually do this, then my mindset would also improve too, right? So I don't want you to think, oh, I need to improve on all six, or this is my lowest one. So I really need to work on this one. I want you to think biggest bang for your buck, highest impact opportunity. Find that one category, and now we're going to build your 30-day focus. So, one category, and then 1 to 3 behaviors for that category. So, this could be, let's example, nutrition. Your 1 to 3 behaviors in that one category are hit your protein consistently, stay within your calorie range. So, within like 200 calories of like your goal, right? If your goal is 1800 calories, you can stay between like either 16 and 18, or you can stay between 17 and 1900 calories. I like that one a little bit better, but just stay within your calorie range over the week, like over that weekly average. and then create more consistency on the weekends. So those are your three things that you're going to work on: hitting protein consistently, staying within your calorie range, and create more consistency on weekends. And that's it. Not 14 new habits, not a complete overhaul of your nutrition and tracking and starting over and being perfect and eating clean and no processed foods. No, like we're just working on a couple things in one category for 30 days. Okay. That sounds so good. Like, I hope this sounds so good. Instead of looking at what you're doing and thinking you need an entire overhaul, like, wow, even if you do this audit and you're like, hey, I am 6 categories and I'm not really killing in any one of them. Notice the things that you did great. And then also say, what is the one thing that would have the biggest impact right now? If your goal is muscle gain, then training would probably be your best bang for your buck, right? Get your training in order and start lifting heavy, eating enough, but get your training in order. Start lifting heavy, progressive overload, consistency, and build muscle. If your goal is fat loss, maybe you need to add in some cardio and recovery and really dial in on your calories too, but maybe the training matters a lot for that. So just getting that one thing locked in will really help you. And then also knowing, I like this part of the audit is you don't have to change everything. You have all the categories laid out in front of you. Find the one thing you're going to work on. Find the 3 behaviors you're going to work on and give yourself 30 days. Make a little chart, get some Post-its, make it cute, put it in your journal. You have 30 days, check them off, but make it great. Like, you just have 3 things to work on in those 30 days. And then after that, you're going to be better in that category. I don't need you to be at a 10-star then in that category. You're going to do this audit again. You're going to see some improvement in that category. And then you're going to move on to another category. You're going to take one category, 1 to 3 behaviors for 30 days. You have the tracker. You can map it all out. You can brain dump. You can get out your thoughts. It's just going to be so good. It's going to be so clear. And I would love for you to send me some DMs, send me pictures in the club app if you're in there. I want to see your audits. I want to see what you're working on. I think this is so great. In the Fit Club fam group chat in my app, in the club app, I think you guys could all share in there. This is just going to be such a useful tool, and I'll take any feedback. I will make edits, and then I'm just going to roll it out because I really, really want you guys to work through this so often. This in my mind brings together everything that we've talked about. Well, really ever. Everything can be started right here in this audit. But it really brings together, the food noise and the training and where do I start and how to be perfect. It just really makes you look at everything individually. And I think that's really great because, again, we can always think, well, this program's not working. I need to buy another one. I need another coach. I need to cut another 200 calories. I need to add another day of cardio or add another day of lifting, or, oh, I'm in my 40s now and my hormones suck and I can't be perfect and I'm awful and I'll start over Monday. Before you think any of that shit, print out this audit 6 months from now. If you're listening to this, if you're thinking any of those things I just said, stop, print out this audit and really find out, what the fuck do I need to change? What is going on? I don't need to change the entire plan. I just need to find some evidence of what exactly would be the biggest bang for my buck. Audit the plan. You just need to find the one thing that's holding you back and really have a time frame to work on that. And that's exactly what this is. So I'm so excited to actually walk through this myself. Maybe my Fit Clubbers, maybe we'll do a little live audit session every month where we show up with our peepers and we go through this and we just really get clear, and we can share if we want, or we can just do it in real time. I think that would be really fucking cool. So I think this is just going to be great. I think I love an audit. I love to just go through, because a lot of times, even in life, and again, do this in life, go to that podcast and do the life audit. And I can get really overwhelmed and I can look at my whole life, right? Like, my car is dirty. I walk in my house and my house is cluttered. I walk in my room and my room is cluttered, and I wanted to remodel it or redesign it. And I've actually been working on that this week, which is why it popped in my head. And I have no food in the refrigerator and I have no ideas for dinner. And then I look in my garden and it's cluttered and there's weeds everywhere and it's half dead and it's too hot to get outside and do it. And then I'm overwhelmed with work. And then I have clients and links that don't work and clients that I need to catch up on. And everything can just feel like holy shit, the world is just caving in on me, right? It's kind of like that in life. It's kind of like that in fitness where it feels like, okay, nothing is working. And so I love to sit down and think, okay, this is everything on my mind. Everything that I just said, plus probably 40 more things would come to my head if I had pen and paper. Right now, I list it all out. I clump it together in groups and say, okay, this is life, this is work, this is me, this is whatever. What is going to be the biggest bang for my buck? Do I need to clean first? Do I need to go shopping and stock up on things first? What is really like visually pissing me off? My bedroom was pissing me off. My garden's pissing me off right now. When I look out my back window, it's like this beautiful view. And then there's like dead corn stalks and just weeds everywhere. I know I can't get to that right now because honestly, it's too hot and I'm not willing to suffer like that right now. So I just need to keep looking at it and thinking, I'll get to that soon. What else can I do though? What can I do right now? What would be something that would give my brain some happiness and some space? And I think that is just really, really good to do. And so this audit is really just going to clean that up for you. So I'm really excited about this. Again, go to the show notes, scroll down to the links. It'll be the very top link. You can go in there, sign up, and well, not sign up, I guess, really. Give me your name, give me your email address. I will send you the audit and then you can print it. And let me know if you have questions. Please, please, please tell me in Spotify in the comments if you've loved this. Show me the photos, show me what's working. And I do think this would be really, really great to do together in Fit Club monthly. I think that would be so cool. Could probably add that on to the things that I'm working on, things that are going to be rolling out soon. But yeah, I think this is just going to be great. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. Go audit your fitness. Go audit the shit out of yourself. Okay. Be nice, but be honest. Don't judge yourself. But I'm super excited. Let me know what things you come up with, and I'll do the same. I'll be sharing on my own social media things that I've audited in my fitness and my life that I can definitely make some improvements on. And that's what it's all about. So I'm excited. Thank you guys for listening to this episode. I always appreciate it. Pretty please go and leave me a rating, 5 stars, and a review, a nice one, please. And that would mean the absolute world to me. That it helps the show to grow. It helps the show to be seen, heard by more people. And that's all I ever want is more people to be unfucking their fitness. Yeah. And come find me on social media at Christy Castillo Fit and Unfuck Your Fitness podcast and reach out and talk to me there. Kind of mixing it up. I'm adding a shop my, so you guys can shop my boring wardrobe and all the things that I'm kind of obsessed with. That's something that I've been playing with mentally, just kind of auditing myself. That's what I want to be doing a little bit more of, is just putting on cute outfits and giving a little bit more of a shit about, I'm really good with my skincare. I'm really good with all of that stuff. Honestly, I just don't show it a lot on social media. Like I don't want to say like parade around or show that off, but I'm going to be embracing a little bit more of that side of me. And I think that's really going to be fun. So yeah, come join me on my social medias if you haven't already, and just stay tuned for all the things. So, all right, I will talk to you guys next week.
Thanks for listening to today's show. Go ahead and leave a rating and a review. And of course, follow the podcast so you don't miss out on any future episodes. And I would love it so much if you came to connect with me over on Instagram at Christy Castillo Fit. I will see you next time.